You see, man, let me tell y'all something, man. If you can't handle the truth from an objective point of view, then this video ain't for you, straight up. As a former PBC and LDBC supporter, Al Heyman, I was a big advocate of Al Heyman, um, and all that shit. And from just from a surface level, you know, I was rooting for Al Heyman, PBC, and their whole infrastructure, and their whole model, right? Simply because they're black. That's it. But, I had to reevaluate things that are going along with how PBC is operating and how Al Heyman is operating his whole conglomerate as he's running the show. He doesn't own PBC, obviously. He owns it. I mean, he is funded by a hedge funds group. But, that's another topic of conversation. But I had to reevaluate, being a supporter of Al Heyman, being a supporter of PBC and the LDBC and the agenda that they push. I had to look in the mirror and say, this shit don't really add up. It don't really add up. It's, you know, PBC right now, Premier Boxing Champions, I would say was a marquee value in terms of boxing and bringing it to free TV. At some point right now, it is right. It is still doing that, but not as prevalent as it was 2 years ago in 2017. I believe it reached its peak in 2017. You know, um, and that was when Mayweather was still fighting, but he was cherry picking his fights with guys like McGregor and stuff like that. Um, but PBC is losing its luster. Is losing marquee value, and the most important thing, it's losing the bottom dollar. Okay, and that's the reality of the situation. You know, the top grossing fighter in the PBC stable in terms of live gates, pay per view, etc. Um, I would say it's Deontay Wilder. Now I could be wrong. There's a lot of fighters on the pay per view stable, but I would say it's Deontay Wilder. Probably a close second would be Errol Spence, but he's just got his foot wet as a pay per view fighter when he fought Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Deontay Wilder, he's been a pro for 11 years, and he has knocked out every last one of his opponents. He has a boisterous personality. Um, he's charismatic. I will give him that. He has all the he has all the characteristics to be a mega superstar in boxing, but the reality of the situation is he's not. He's far from it. His live gates, his live gates in terms of ticket sales, trash. His last fight with Dominic Brazil, which he knocked out in dramatic fashion, they only sold 13,181 tickets. You do the math on that in terms of live gate, right? Um, wasn't on pay per view, was on regular Showtime. Previous to that, his last fight with that was on pay per view was with Tyson Fury, and that did between 300 to 325,000 pay per view buys, but the actual numbers weren't officially released. But that was an estimate. Um, See, the point of this particular video that I'm making is the fact that like I said, I was once a PBC, Al Heyman, LDBC supporter, but I had to look in the mirror. I had to say, you know what, things aren't adding up. You know, Guys, particularly like Deontay Wilder, have been mismanaged for years. Deontay Wilder should be a mega superstar. Every single one of his fights should be on pay per view. Um, he should be he should be selling out football stadiums, not arenas. He can't even sell out an arena, let alone a football stadium now. But he's not doing those kind of numbers. And it's sad because a guy like Anthony Joshua, who makes his debut tomorrow, fighting Andy Ruiz, who is a replacement fighter, a 5-week replacement fighter. And the Joshua fight outsold Deontay Wilder's fight with Dominic Breazeale, making his U.S. debut on U.S. soil. A foreigner from the UK outsold Deontay Wilder. That you can't blame nobody else but your goddamn self. Al Haymon, PBC, Shirley Winkle, Steven Espinosa, JD's, Mark Breland, everybody that's in Deontay Wilder's ears to blame. And he has a lot of people that advises him. Okay? A lot of people that I just mentioned. And so the LDBC likes to spin it and deflect it and say, well, you know what, man? What about AJ's sales? AJ's ticket sales, they're selling it half off now. Oh, they're struggling. They're doing fire sales. Like, that's the kind of energy you want, man? I mean, that's the kind of... You want to deflect instead of just say accepting what the reality of the situation is and working on how to correct it. But you want to deflect and do ad hominems. That's trash. And that's the reason why I stopped supporting PBC and LDBC, because of those kind of tactics. Because of the fact that Deontay Wilder, a guy like Deontay Wilder, is being completely mismanaged. And there's nobody to blame with Al Haymon. Like I said, Al Haymon, Shirley Winkle, Steven Espinosa, Lou DiBella, J. Diaz, all those guys are to blame for mismanaging Deontay Wilder's career. He should be a mega superstar selling out football stadiums that are equivalent to Wembley Stadium in the UK. And he's not. Don't put it on. It's the climate of the US and there's other sports going on in the US. No. Not at all. That's not an excuse. Mike Tyson did it in his era, where there were still other sports dominating in the 80s. You know, he was a pay-per-view mega superstar. He was the pay-per-view box office star before there was Mayweather, breaking all kinds of records. And Deontay Wilder has not broken one single pay-per-view record, not even close. Hasn't broken no kind of live gate record, not even close. So in terms of marquee value, in terms of generating revenue, Deontay Wilder is just pales in comparison to a Anthony Joshua. And those are just facts. And again, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Yourself as in the PBC, yourself as in the Al Haymons of the world, the Shirley Winkles of the world, the Steven Espinosas of the world, the Lou DiBellas of the world, the JDs of the world, all those guys that are in Deontay Wilder's ear. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to call a spade, man. Calling it down the middle. All right? So that's what I observed, man, you know, throughout this year in particular. You know, Deontay Wilder's marquee value is trash. This video has nothing to do with the fact... This video has nothing to do with who I think will win in the fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. I'm just talking about particularly marquee value and how Deontay Wilder is completely devalued. He should be a mega super pay-per-view star, and he's not. And that's the reality. So, you know, the LDBC supporters and Al Haymon supporters, y'all got to stop deflecting and stop spinning this shit. Stop trying to create false narratives that support your agenda and your stands, your fanboys. Stop it and just accept reality. The reality is Deontay Wilder is devalued. The reality is Deontay Wilder is not a marquee attraction. He's not a pay-per-view attraction. He's not a marquee resource. He does not generate the money that he should in terms of boxing, in terms of pay-per-view revenue. He does not. He does not. And again, a foreigner came on U.S. soil, made his U.S. debut, and already outsold Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make this video and address this, man. I'm just, watching. And also, I mean, listen, Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua getting co-signs by rappers like Drake and Meek Mill. Meek Mill did a second video promoting the Andy Ruiz Anthony Joshua fight. Meek Mill. So it's crazy. A foreigner is getting more special treatment than an American boxer like a Deontay Wilder that's been pro for 11 years. That is just atrocious. That is complete trash. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to make this quick video, family. Watching these previews and stuff like that with the Andy Ruiz fight and Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua fight. Reading the comments, I just had to make a video about this shit, man, and share my thoughts about the PBC and the LDBC. So anyway, those are my quick thoughts about that, family. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at GMOGMediaTV. Until next time, Chauncey signing out.